Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Sherlock Holmes. Let's go and find out who killed this Black Pete, eh? I'm not going to waste around, let's go straight into it. Because I'm already running late. My apologies, by the way. I did say that the stream would start at about 20 minutes ago. But these things just can't, you know. These things happen. Right, we're in. And I am on the wrong screen. Whoopee, there we go. That's better. Sorry about that. So, we have potential clues that could lead us to the fact that Hurtley and the young lad Nelligan could have been working together. Because Nelligan's got motive, but and so does Hurtley. They both have motives. But I don't believe that Nelligan I don't believe that he's the murderer. I mean, what do you guys think? Message me in any of the chats. I'm watching most of them.
You met Patrick Cairns, the harpooner. Do you believe he's the murderer?
But this is the thing, we've got another guy. I really want to examine a bit.
My
more.
archive. I can always consult with it if needed. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
I mean, we could go with that. I do this, it unlocks. That's a good point. Suspects know each other. Go back to Woodman's Leap. I don't know if the suspects know each other. I know that one of them was very much having an affair with this woman.
Leave me alone, please.
And she won't talk to me anymore. And Nelligan, I think he was just there at the wrong time. Anything else? We still haven't found who's got that tin. I think if we find who has that tin, we're onto something. Go back to Scotland Yard.
I'm not saying...
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
Mr. Holmes?
I mean, I guess to save time, we can go with them both. I change this. Go with this. Try it. That first case, though, we get it wrong.
The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
There are two culprits, Inspector. Nelligan and Hertley.
What? Well, I would never have guessed, Mr. Holmes. They are a rotten pair, though.
It was a combination of two motives, culminating in one crime.
What were their motives?
The first was revenge. Black Peter possessed the bond certificates that had belonged to Nelligan's father, and young Nelligan wished to retrieve them.
And the second?
The second was a crime of passion. Liam Hertley was in love with Black Peter's wife, and this caused a conflict between him and Carrie.
Well, well, well. Makes sense, Mr. Holmes.
I suggest that you organize a small confrontation between the two, just to confirm my accusation.
That's a good idea, Mr. Holmes. I'll talk to these fellows. Join me in the interrogation room.
We'll just see where this
Gentlemen,
goes.
we know everything about your association to kill Black Peter. Admit that you planned it together.
Our association? I don't even know this man.
You needed to kill Peter Carey. There had to be two of you there.
Ridiculous. I'm innocent.
All that remains is to determine the level of guilt. Which one of you is the initiator in this case?
But I just told you I've never seen this man before.
It's him. He's the culprit. He was forcing me. He threatened me. He's the mastermind behind it all.
Shut up. You're a lunatic.
Well, it all seems very clear, don't you think, Mr. Holmes?
Both are guilty, of course, but I believe that Hertley was the initiator of the crime.
It's ridiculous. Why would I need the help of this weakling?
You wanted to be rid of the man who was terrorizing his wife, and who prevented the two of you from being together. Young Nelligan was just following his lead.
You're wrong. I have nothing whatsoever to do with this.
Explain that to the judge.
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
Traffic in the background. How about now? Is that any better? Nice. Apologies for not talking much. I'm currently trying to catch up on my
This
dinner.
trip to the countryside will be good for you, Holmes.
Hmm.
As your friend and your doctor, I really do recommend that you give yourself a complete change of scene. Fresh air, brisk walks, bird watching, chopping wood.
Sounds intolerable. I mean, certainly it sounds delightful.
But you haven't yet told me who your friend is, the one we're going to visit.
He is a bee lover.
A bee lover? Do you mean that he keeps bees? That must be Mrs. Hudson, bringing the warm cloth that I requested.
There is someone to see you, Mr. Holmes.
I have no time. Send whoever it is away.
Yes, Holmes, I really think we ought to leave now.
Mycroft.
Sherlock.
Oh, Mr. Holmes? Perhaps you don't remember me. I'm Dr. Watson. We met at the Diogenes Club a few years ago. I documented our encounter in a short story I gave the title The Greek Interpreter.
He does remember you,
Mycroft.
Watson. My brother remembers everything, and that is why he is so valuable to the government.
We are about to depart for the train station.
I know.
You know?
Sherlock, I need your help. There are people who presently threaten both our country and the Crown itself. You must help us with those methods of yours.
Need help. Those are not words I would readily associate with you, Mycroft.
I wrote you a letter, but you did not reply. And this is not about politics. It's about people. People similar to those whom you pretend to defend in your petty detective affairs.
Everything is about politics with you, Mycroft. I'm not interested. Have some of your agents, your spies, or worse, undertake this job of yours. You are defending your people, and they have little to do with the people I choose to help, I can assure you.
That is the point. You think exactly as they do.
Who are they?
The Merry Men. He is talking about the Merry Men, a band of idealistic terrorists.
Sherlock, do please think about it. They are planning something diabolical. Your country needs you.
You need me, Mycroft, and you are not the country. Although if your waistline expands very much further.
Mrs. Hudson, tea will not be necessary. Dr. Watson, the train conductor, Mr. Parker, is aware that you will be 7 minutes late. You are in the 4th car. The train will be waiting for you. Sherlock, enjoy your time in Staffordshire. And do, please, at least write to me on your return.
Holmes, please call a cab while I pack my suitcase. We shall be late for the train.
Watson, I'll hold a cab for us. We leave in 5 minutes for the station.
1 week later, that was a quick trip. Riddle on the rails.
What a gloomy night. It was warmer inside the waiting hall.
Since the station master told us that the train is about to arrive, we should not have to wait very much longer.
Yes, at last.
Attention! The train is arriving at the station. Please stand well away from the platform edge.
I'll take your bags and your blasted archive suitcase. But, Holmes, the headlight. It's faded away.
Something is wrong. I can't hear any sound from the incoming train.
Excuse me, sir. Can you explain what has happened?
I don't know. It's as if the train vanished into thin air.
Holmes, say something.
Quick, fetch a lantern and let us take a look.
It's too dark. Only fog and rails, nothing else.
There is no use in stumbling around here at night. We will come back tomorrow.
The next morning, very early.
Well, here we are again at Evesham Station. We have a full day ahead. Let us begin our investigation.
This way or that way? Pretty sure it's this way.
This is the place where we saw the train vanish last night.
There are no tracks or foot. A discarded item, possibly thrown from the train. Railway sleepers, nothing unusual.
How can a train disappear? Still have a half.
The rails have not been touched. There's nothing unusual here. There are no signs to indicate that the train ran off the track, nor are there any other traces. There is nothing whatsoever. There are no clues. But then, a negative result is also a result.
Oh, I see what you're getting at. No clues, and you're smiling.
Yes, Watson, I do smile on occasion. This mystery appears very promising. This investigation won't be simple. We shall require a map of the region.
Perhaps the station master could lend us one.
You see, normal people wouldn't even be bothered. Pretty sure normal people would have been like, whatever. We'll have to catch the next one.
Good morning. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson.
Yes, I remember you. I'm Station Master Everett. You were here last night. So, you are Mr. Holmes, the great detective. Will you be investigating what happened?
I shall indeed.
It is extraordinary that an entire train could disappear like that. And to think of all the poor people inside it, the passengers, the driver.
Yes, they get to touch people. Why has he got spots of earth on him?
Could you please give us any details about the train?
Well, there was nothing so very special about it. At least not that I can recall. My memory's not what it used to be.
I'm trying to say he's unlike meth.
However, if you need it, you can have the train composition report. It's inside my office.
I would be glad to have a detailed map of the local railway district.
But of course, please, take the one that's pinned inside the waiting hall.
See you later, my good man.
My good man. I don't believe that this is the waiting hall.
This map will be useful.
Nottingham and London. Bit of a distance.
The whole train just disappeared. It's
Whatever, Watson. Or do I have to run up the street? Let's see if I can find anybody. I can't go and talk to people. Anything else around the train station that I might miss? No. Oh look, Doncaster, excellent. At least I know that we're on the map. What do I do next?
The entire train has disappeared.
Nothing of interest.
A new telegram.
I think we should meet this Mr. Robinson. Here is the train set. A telegraph. A telegraph.
So casual. A telegraph. Special wagon.
According to the train composition report, there was a special wagon. What does that entail?
That's a highly secure car, ordered by a private party. It is generally to carry something of value. Those wagons have iron walls, you know, without any windows. And they're fitted with a complex key lock.
That is important information. Do you know what was inside this particular wagon?
Certainly not. No, that's private. And it's not my responsibility to allot the wagons to whoever.
Was there anything exceptional about any of the passengers aboard the train?
What do you mean? Like officials? I wouldn't know. Oh, but now that you mention it, yes, there was something. There was a message from Bridlington station saying that the train had been delayed because of an issue with the passengers. But what kind of problem that they didn't say?
That is interesting. You mentioned a problem at Bridlington station. I should like to visit this station. Could you mark it on the local map?
Of course. It's a suburban railway station. You might take a cab there.
See you later, my good man.
Excellent. Let's go. Watson, get the cab. Onwards to Bridlington.
railway post bags.
For stating the obvious. What, Sherlock?
This is an absolute scandal. It's always the same with these rail companies. No respect for the customer.
Oh yes, it's examining. My favourite part of this game.
Please calm down, sir. What is your concern?
Concern? What is my concern? I'll tell you what my concern is. Last night I were on the train as usual with my colleague, heading home. Then along came this ridiculous ticket inspector, who started arguing that our tickets were invalid. He made us get off the train, and he was extremely rude about it.
Were you aboard the train that vanished last night?
Yes, I heard that it disappeared. But I don't care because we would have stopped before then anyway. Our tickets were valid and no doubt about it. And then, to top it all, the ticket inspector pushed everyone else out too, except for a bunch of rich. Well, because their type don't need a ticket.
Can you recall anything more specific about this fortunate group?
Well, yes. They were all foreigners. Spanish-looking toffs with snake eyes.
If he's a Yorkshireman, everybody's
Goodbye,
a foreigner. That's funny.
The insurance policy for Robinson's machine. A significant sum.
Good day to you, gentlemen. How may I help you?
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock Holmes.
Spanish-looking
I am
Scots.
investigating the unfortunate disappearance of last night's train.
I see. I'm Station Master Bertram, but my supervisor has not informed me about this. I do not know if...
Do not worry. I have only a few questions. Station Master Everett from Evesham told us that you reported a problem with some passengers last night.
Indeed. This train is a regular line for those who work at Nottingham. But yesterday, everyone was asked to get off the train here at my station. I've no idea why, and it delayed the train. But the worst of it is that now I have to deal with two furious passengers who are complaining about the company's service. They stayed here the whole night, but people do not usually pay much attention to the regulations, you see. There are very strict and clear rules. Paragraph 234 of Article 2G-43 states that in the event of a complaint, you must...
Yes, thank you. I understand.
Examine him. Young age. He's quite new.
Apart from the passengers disembarking, did you notice anything else that was unusual last night?
I did, and I mentioned it in my report to our higher management on the matter.
What was it?
Sorry, but I can't tell you. The station master's reports are confidential.
Confidential, you say? How long have you been working here?
I've worked here long enough to be quite capable of managing a railway station.
Apart from the passengers disembarking, did you notice anything else that was unusual last night?
I did, and I mentioned it in my...
What was it?
I've worked here long enough to be quite capable of managing a railway station.
Which one is it?
Let me speak frankly, Mr. Bertram. Your age and your lack of confidence in your position are quite apparent. You cannot deny that you have only recently completed your studies.
I was at the top of my class.
Listen here, young man. I am aware that you wish to protect yourself behind all these regulations, but I represent the law.
And you are obstructing the investigation of an important case. I would suggest that you cooperate with Mr. Holmes. Think of your career.
That is... Well, I'll tell you everything. First of all, I scolded the ticket inspector, for it was he who asked the passengers to leave the train. It was not his right to do so. He was very rude. And then, later on, I received a most peculiar telegram from my colleague at Chesterfield Station, the next stop along the line.
Oh. That's strange. That's where I'm from in real life.
What did the telegram say?
Well, that was the peculiar thing. It was almost unreadable. It was full of errors and awfully vague. It was hard to understand if the train had correctly passed that station or not. You can read it for yourself.
We ought to visit Chesterfield Station.
No,
we need to confirm if the station master saw the train or not.
Holmes, you really don't want
A telegraph.
to go to my hometown.
Holmes, how is it even possible for a train to disappear?
Is this what's got you tongue-tied? You're too busy trying to think about how a train can disappear.
Good day to you, sir.
Good day. To whom am I speaking?
My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is...
Are you a representative of this damned railway company? Because I have a complaint.
We are not from the railway company. We are...
Well, in that case, Mr. Shamrock Flomes, please excuse me, but I'm not in the mood for idle chit-chat at the moment.
Lovely fella. Australian hat.
You must be Mr. Robinson, is that correct?
Yes?
I am leading the investigation of the disappearing train. It would help if you could answer my questions.
Ah, well, all right. I have nothing to...
I presume it was you who placed the order for the special wagon.
Yes. It was to transport my valuable prototype safely to London. My prototype is a revolutionary device. It is capable of producing electricity. I'm a businessman and an engineer. I had already found several potential customers for my invention, but I was very optimistic about the directors' board who were travelling on the train last night.
You mentioned a director's board. Which company do they own?
The Chilean Barcazas Company. I had made an appointment with them. Now they are lost, along with the train and my prototype.
What do you know about the
obvious,
Barcazas Company?
It's a large South American company. They showed a great deal of interest in my prototype, and they seemed wealthy enough to do business with.
This revolutionary machine of yours, was it very valuable?
For God's sake, sir, it is priceless. It could change the world we live in, and yet I was selling it for almost nothing. I am a humanitarian, you see. I do not know if I will ever be able to get over this disaster. I cannot believe that it disappeared with that damned train.
Mr. Robinson, could you please clarify? Were you traveling alongside your prototype?
Yes, I was. But I had to step off the train. And all because of this stupid station master.
I received a telegram declaring that an important person, a Mr. Bromsby, wished to see you in the waiting room. I merely informed you of this.
Mr. Bromsby is a wealthy gentleman. His interest in my invention was truly unexpected. So yes, of course, I agreed to see him. Unfortunately, he wasn't there. I thought perhaps he might have been delayed, so I chose to wait a while. But despite my requests, the train left the station without me. Absolutely unacceptable.
The timetable is strict. We cannot wait any longer. The regulations require the train to be on time.
You are an idiot. You will pay for it. I will sue you.
Wow.
According to this document, you have insurance for your prototype.
Oh, thank God. Where did you find it?
Near the telegraph station.
I must have lost it when I tried to send a message, which I was prevented from doing.
I apologise for that, but regulations state that public access to the telegraph is strictly prohibited.
Upon my word, you keep on digging that hole of yours. You have no idea who I am.
I see that you kept your grip sack with you. Why don't you leave it in the luggage room?
I've had other things to think about. I lost my prototype, and this idiot station master just stands here doing nothing to help.
Oh, but...
Well, that won't do at all. Station Master, I believe that the regulations state that any passenger luggage should be taken to the luggage room.
I'll do it right away, sir. Sorry, sir.
This Robinson is quite a character. We should learn more about him. The ticket inspector forced all the passengers from the train except for the directors of the Barcazes Chilean Company.
Yeah. Oh, that's me. That came out of the blue. Full time. Yeah, just click everything. What clues? Let's see if I've got any. It's on the news together. Have a quick look around and I'm gonna move.
Railway post bags.
Ha!
This grip sack belongs to Mr. Robinson.
I think we should open it, Holmes. This is what they call force majeure. I'll keep watch.
Of course.
Wow. Oh, another one of these.
Look, Watson, a bundle of contracts. Very suspicious. We should study them carefully. An exclusive. Mr. Robinson is the seller. Yet another exclusive. Mr. Robinson is the seller. Yet another. Mr. Robinson is the seller. Yet another. Mr. Robinson is the seller. Well, it is very clear that this Mr. Robinson received prepayments from various people for his machine.
think he's got motive. Especially with his attitude. Don't see anything else.
It's a scandal. An absolute...
I will not move from here until I receive...
Don't touch anything, please.
Yeah, let's go to Chesterfield. Right then. Welcome to my hometown.
This bin is full of empty bottles. I had thought that all station masters knew the Morse code, but apparently not.
A telegraph.
Oh dear. We've got a drunken station master. Yeah, no, he's a great observation.
How could he fall asleep at work like this? Excuse me, sir. Wake up. Ah, his breath. He must have swallowed half a distillery.
And that explains the how.
By his sleeping off the alcohol, you mean? Wake up, please, sir.
What? The 18-hour 72 train has arrived?
Good day to you. We are investigating the disappearance of last night's train, and we should like to ask you a few questions.
Why does he have a fishing line?
Were there any passengers who got off that particular train at your station last night?
No, nobody, it seems to me. Although I did not leave my office, so...
No doubt you were very busy.
You don't say. You can't ever get any peace around here. Now you have to send a telegram each time a train arrives and departs.
Station Master Bertram from Bridlington showed me a strange telegram that he received from you last night. It concerned the train, but it was barely comprehensible.
What? He's a fastidious little twerp, that Bertram. I remember.
Apologies for that. Appear to be having problems with my microphone again. Which it's just on off its stand. Excellent. think it's just having one of its funny days. Hopefully this is a bit better. I think it's my line. Statics back. Excellent. Just what I need. How about now? Why is it doing this? Let's try that.
Remember everything quite clearly. It was late, and I was tired, but I did my work. So what? There's no need to be so petty.
You were not tired, you were inebriated. Tell me the truth now, or I shall not hesitate to document your state in my report.
My friend means that you will end up by being sacked from your position.
All right. So I was drunk. I don't remember all of yesterday, to be truthful to you. Please don't go harsh on me.
Holmes, this man has consumed a considerable amount of alcohol. He's not entirely helpless yet, but...
It will not be long before he is. Obviously, his testimony cannot be trusted.
What do you mean it's not showing you that you're not here? What?
A fishing advertisement. Lock. There is no sense in asking the station master to open it. We shall have to pick the lock. Bags were recently dragged here. French wine, a remarkable vintage. These bottles are too expensive for a station master's wage. they were likely taken from the parcels.
Shameful.
Railway post bags. A handcar wheelbase. Interesting. It appears that elements of the same construction were scattered everywhere. Watson, please tell me, do you believe in magic?
Of course not, Holmes.
Then you are of the opinion that a train cannot simply disappear.
Well, we both know that that is obvious. Why are you asking such peculiar questions?
A little patience, Watson. You will understand my point quite soon. So, are you quite certain that you saw the train at Evesham Station?
Yes, of course. We saw it coming. The headlights, and heard the whistle.
But that is it. We didn't see the train itself.
But... Oh, Holmes, I'm a little confused.
No, I get what he's getting. What he's getting at. I understand what Holmes is saying.
This Robinson fellow seems suspicious to me.
I should use the appropriate object here. I should use the appropriate object here.
Alright. No worries.
I should use the appropriate object here.
Oh, we're just building a rail. One of those handcart rail things. I can't find, for some reason, I can't find the last piece. think it's just wood.
I should use the appropriate object here.
Yeah, I get that, but where is the appropriate object?
So, now here we have the fake train that we saw approaching Evesham Station last night.
Doesn't look much like a train to me.
Be patient, Watson, I haven't finished yet. Try using your imagination. Our train requires only a headlight and a steam whistle. We need to attach a headlight and a steam whistle.
We're going to get a headlight and a steam whistle. Okay, well, that just answered my question.
I need something long for the headlight to be attached.
Pick up everything in here.
The long pole is now attached. It will allow us... The headlight is attached. The steam whistle is now connected.
Holmes, what can we do to make the steam whistle work?
It is elementary, my dear Watson. We shall need a fire extinguisher. The fire extinguisher. Now let us see what we have here. First of all, let us pump the pressure inside the extinguisher. The steam whistle is ready to be used. Watson, I do believe that we have created an exact replica of the train that vanished in front of us last night. The criminal mind can be most inventive. I am somewhat in awe.
So such a thing is possible. If someone went to all the trouble of creating this fake train, then it was surely with the intention of stealing the real one.
Ah, Watson, you should not jump to conclusions. In fact, this does not tell us very much at all, except that the train did not evaporate into thin air.
Although you half suspected it.
At any rate, we now need to find where the real train might be hidden. I suggest we use my archives to find a more detailed map of our surroundings.
Well, I hope that justifies our having to load your massive archive suitcase onto the cab. It made us extremely unpopular with our driver.
I need to restart again.
Will I ever get any peace?
A telegraph.
The entire train has disappeared.
A telegraph.
It says I need to search the archives, but I don't have access to my archives, so how can I search the archives? Confused. Wait, where is the archives? Sorry, that's very fun.
Don't touch anything, please.
I will not move from here.
It's a scam.
Where is the archives?
I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
Aha!
Now we have two maps. We must combine them properly. Here it is. There is a side branch to the railway. Its first switch is located between Bridlington and Chesterfield stations. There is one more station to be visited. It is located between Chesterfield and Evesham, and there should be a side railway to the nearby quarry. There is a small section of a railway at the end of Evesham station.
Ooh. The mystery continues.
The switch is rusted, but it still works.
This road should go in the same direction as the road.
I'm guessing there's nothing else here.
Mines. This is interesting. It would be quite possible for someone to redirect the train towards the mines.
I'm always wondering what's on your... Here are the mines, Holmes. They appear to be abandoned. This is an administrative panel. See what it says.
Watson, you are a gentleman, and gentlemen tend to carry handkerchiefs. Might I borrow yours?
And where is your own?
I haven't the faintest idea.
Very well. Here it is.
WEA Coal. These mines belong to them. Nothing interesting here. Nothing in... Nothing in... Nothing interesting here. Nothing interesting here.
What am I actually measuring here?
Nothing. Nothing interesting here. Nothing interest. Nothing interesting here. Nothing interesting here. Nothing interesting here. A small vehicle with wooden beams went down this way.
This mine has completely collapsed, Holmes.
It is curious, but to be truthful, I am not entirely surprised.
It's difficult to follow you, Holmes.
Someone removed these screws, most probably to take down the rails. A few feet of the rails have been dismantled. This is an unusual kind of paper, stiff and dry. It was used for a specific purpose. Let us look inside. Sawdust. I am almost certain it is a... Watson, could you assist, please? Do you have your pistol? Good. Fire at this package.
Dynamite.
This is the cabin for the mine's security personnel. This box must be the safe. Let's open it. The Mexican company Caracal and the Chilean Barcazas both want to buy the mines. I need more information. Perhaps Mycroft could help.
Interesting. And I think as soon as we get here, I am going to call this episode. You'll find out more tomorrow. I'll be right back with Armor 3, so don't go anywhere if you want to stick around and watch Armor 3. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. I'll see you later.